Somewhere north of 4,500 players have suited up for an NBA game. Of those thousands of players, only a select group ascend to stardom. You don't get to the NBA if you can't hoop though, and sometimes those less discussed players shoot past our expectations to have a shining moment of greatness. In this series, I'm taking a player you may or may not remember and looking back at the best game they ever played on NBA court. Today, we're looking at Ish Smith, who is best known for holding the record for playing for the most franchises during his career at 13 teams. The diminutive point guard went undrafted in 2010, but has made a career out of filling in gaps in a rotation with consistency. While Smith has had several great games throughout his long career, one night in Washington, D.C. stands out. On January 4th, 2020, the Denver Nuggets rolled into town to take on the Wizards. The Nuggets were in the middle of a 5-game road trip and were coming off a win in Indiana 2 nights prior. Nikola Jokic wasn't quite up to his standards we know today, but the big Serbian was playing well and the team was sitting at 24-11. The Wizards came into the game with the exact opposite record and were in the middle of yet another ho-hum season with Scott Brooks at the helm. Importantly for this game, Washington was coming off of a losing effort the night before and was missing Bradley Beal, Davis Bertans, Rui Hachimura, Thomas Bryant, and Mo Wagner. Plus, John Wall was in the middle of sitting out an entire season due to injury. Things were dire, and most assumed the Nuggets would cruise to an easy victory. Enter Ish Smith. With no Wall, Smith was playing solid minutes that season, though Isaiah Thomas usually started over him until he was traded later in the season. This game started similarly, but IT went 1 for 7 in the opening quarter, prompting a change. Now, it's important to note that Jamal Murray and Gary Harris also started cold, so the Wizard held the lead coming into the second period, but Joker already had 9 points and 4 boards. At times, he seemed to be toying with Ian Mahinmi, and as soon as Murray's tired legs came to life, the Wizards were probably in trouble. Like a prophecy unfolding before our eyes, Murray did come alive in the second quarter, burying 5 of 7 from the field to drop 12 points. In contrast, the Wizards starters scored 5 points total over that same period. Fortunately for them, Troy Brown Jr. kept it interesting with 18 first-half points. Importantly for our story, Ish Smith joined in on the fun, grabbing 7 points of his own. He got the party started by shaking Juancho Hernangomez with a filthy crossover and burying a step back in his face, and he ended the half with 2 tough takes to the rim. As the teams headed to their lockers, the Wiz held a slim 6-point lead, but Ish was just getting started. Now, the second half wasn't all rosy for Ish. Murray came out in the third period like he'd been shot out of a cannon, not missing a single shot to drop 20 third quarter points. Of course, Smith didn't guard him every possession, but it's fair to say that his performance on that end wasn't at his best. Thankfully, he made up for it on the other side of the ball, knocking down 5 shots for 10 points and contributing 4 assists and a steal. Ish ended the quarter with a water bug-like drive to the lane and a big shot over Mason Plumlee. It was on. Down by 5, the Nuggets came out hot and went ahead by 2 with 9:33 left on the clock. Then it was Ish time. It started simple enough. A smooth dish to Isaac Bonga tied the game, and a Troy Brown lay-in gave the Wiz a lead. Smith would then go on a tear, scoring 11 of the Wizards' next 15 points, stretching the lead to 15 in roughly 4 minutes. The shots were coming from all over the court. He picked Monte Morris's pocket and then crossed him into oblivion, going the other way before burying a mid-range jumper. He went right at Jokic before creating space with that handle to give another easy knockdown. Smith even hit the Nuggets with a baseline spin move that MJ would be proud of for another lay-in. He closed things out with a dagger three-pointer to essentially ice the game. It was an incredible performance for a guy whose career average sits at 7 a night. Ish went toe-to-toe with 2 budding superstars in Murray and Jokic and proved that, at least for one night, he could take them. Granted, he had help from Troy Brown Jr. and Murray did drop 39 of his own, but Ish got the W, and that's all that matters for this one shining moment.